And now I'm gonna go down the ladder. There always needs to be 3 feet of ladder over the roof line. All right, so now I'm entering the third quarter of the hood cleaning. I brought my pressure washer hose inside the restaurant. What was my number 2 guy doing in the second quarter while I was up on the roof? He was up inside the store putting a shine on the hood, on the outside, doing what he can to help out there, making sure everything was okay with the water here. Now, also he needed to spray down the hood with chemical. Nice place to keep the chemical is right here, so it doesn't get stepped on. You don't want it accidentally squirting off in weird directions. The first thing I do when I'm spraying inside the kitchen is put it on the 90. The hood's already wet with chemical. By the way, that's all you have to do is get it wet. Don't keep soaking it. But I'm always working from left to right, right to left, all the way across whatever section I decide to work in. So what I always tell people is I want to do my 90-degree work first. This is my 90. What's my 90-degree work? Well, it's the areas that I can fetch with this 90. And so I'll start on the left, and I'll point it down, and I'll spray all the way down, like that, all the way across. And then I'll turn it back up like this, and I'll lay it down on the filter tray, and I'll squeeze it, and go all the way across like that. And that's the work inside of my plenum with the 90. The last thing I'll do with the 90 is spray this part of the hood. You can't see, you got to do it blind, so you just kind of scribble your way down, move over. Scribble your way down and move over. There's a lot of pressure right here. This is where Shoes for Crews shoes come in handy, because this has a lot of that. But you'll scribble your way down, and then you can switch. If you want to reapply chemical right here because you want to or you need to, go ahead. You don't have to. But now look, it's on my straight, and I do the same thing. I usually start from back here, pointing at the plenum area, and I'll just scribble my way up and down from left to right, all the way across. Why do I do it that way? So I can keep track in my head of what I've washed. When I do that and I get all of the plenum area, then I focus on the top plane of the hood. I go all the way across, and then of course I get the sides, that side and that side. Now once again, you're going to start seeing a familiar pattern in how I'm thinking. I call all of that cycle 1. You might need a 2 or a 3 cycles, but at some point in time you got to stop, because you should finish by hand with a scrubby pad after that. So, third quarter, guy number 1, that's how he sprays out the hood. Kind of a short quarter. What's the inside guy doing? Well, he may not be done polishing the outside of the hood. So he may be on this thing, the 4-foot ladder, right here next to you, finishing up, cleaning and shining the outside of the hood. I usually don't touch the floors until I'm totally done. So from right here, the number 1 and number 2 guy are done with the third quarter. It's time to enter the fourth quarter. I'm going to pull my stuff out of here. My number 2 guy can help me with the hoses, because I'm going to come back in and start quarter number 4, while the number 2 guy stays outside and finishes quarter number 4. Okay, we're starting quarter number 4. I'm playing the role as the number 1 guy. Oops. Number 2 guy should have brought these in the 3rd quarter. They're the filters that were outside. All right, quarter 4 could very well be the longest quarter. It's definitely the most important quarter. All right, we got a lot going on here. We're going to take the plastic down, and you don't want to lose these clips. So as you start unclipping it, you know, throw them somewhere, either in the clip basket or somewhere where you won't forget them. I wouldn't roll them up with the plastic. They'll get thrown away. So you got to undress the hood as a number 1 guy. And we're kind of thoughts on, we're closing this thing out. We got to get the kitchen looking pretty again. And we got to wrap things up. So we've got to undress the hood. My guy out there has got to clean up, put up my tools. I want them cleaned up in a way. I want them prepped. I want them as clean as they were when they started, which should be clean. And I want my pump sprayer bottles prepped for the next job. So I've got the outside work going on. We're wrapping things up out there, cleaning up the van, the tools. And here, I'm going to undress this hood. I'm going to leave the plastic laying over the cooking equipment. And then I've got to dry the hood out and make it shine. Okay, and typically it involves me crawling on the equipment, and again, that's why I leave this bent or the cooking equipment covered with plastic, because I don't want to be walking directly on their equipment. I want it to be protected from the dirt and stuff like that. And then I need to put up their filters. I need to put up my hood sticker, which is not that one. And I need to walk out of here, and you see that? That's a good example of like what our mess sort of looks like. But we got to make it look like nobody was in here, right? We can't have signs of it. So that's what we've got for our 4th quarter, and we're gonna get out of here. You know, I always wear a watch. I'm always kind of aware of the time. You know, you need 45 minutes to do this last phase, or an hour. It takes a good chunk of the time. You want to get this one right. You know, you want to. Here's where your hand towels. Like, I'm finally I pull out my clean towel, and as I go kind of wiping down the equipment and stuff like that. So I'll start taking off these clips. I'm going to leave plastic draped over the equipment, and I'm going to make myself a batch of soft soap, the kind that won't burn you, because I'm going to want to get up here, scrub it out. And by the way, what do we do about this? This is mostly dirty water, but it does have some grease in it, and the pH might be a little bit off. So we don't want to dump it down storm drains. The best place to dump it is a drain inside the restaurant. The drain inside the restaurant will be going through a grease trap, and you just clean off the mop sink or the sink that you dump it down. If it's heavy with grease at the top, the grease floats to the top. You can pick it up and throw it in the plastic, or throw it in a trash can with a liner and throw it away that way. Just got to be careful of the fish and the flowers. So. All right, you're looking up inside of the hood here, and one of the first things I'm going to do after I get my pictures is I'm going to put up my clean filters. Now, this hood is set up in such a way that I can't get these 20 by 20s go in all the way across. So I'll just put in 2 of them. All right, and after you put filters in all the way across, you're gonna really feel more progress. And then you can focus on everything outside of the plenum. And what you go do next is you find in their kitchen cleaning area, every restaurant's got a bucket. I don't carry them on my truck because literally every restaurant's got these things. And all you want to do is go and get our scrubby and some of our soap, put a little in there. If it's a little bit more aggressive than normal, you can squirt a little bit of hard stuff in it, but it won't be bad enough that it'll burn your skin. But this, okay, is an awesome way to get started with the final touches. You've got 2 squirt bottles too. You can also have one full of sudsy soft soap and one full of your shine. Your shine comes last. You got to clean it first. And the shine comes last. You don't want to use too much polish. So again, I'll take this, dip, scrub, and I'll work my way from one end of the hood all the way to the other. Maybe wiping as I go, you know. But once I'm done with that, and it gets all dry, I'm gonna get a microfiber cloth. And one of these scrapers. I'll apply a little bit of polish, squirt, squirt, squirt. A little bit of polish up in here, squirt, squirt, squirt. And I'll take this beautiful little thing and wipe down the hood. Important note for polishing and shining stainless steel. Stainless has a grain just like wood. You can see it, so wipe with the grain for a better polish. And a nice dry towel is what you want to use here. And you want to, you know, as long as it stays clean and polish only on it, you can keep using the towel. All right. So once this whole hood is scrubbed, of course, don't forget, shine the outside of the hood, shine the backsplash panel. Then you can start wrapping up your plastic. You want to roll it so the dirty part stays inside. Roll it all up, throw it in a dumpster, and begin the process of making your final exit. And I will, you know, take out my clean rag and wipe the equipment as I go. Make sure I put my tools back in an organized way. This is the fryer. We pretended this is the fryer. We want to be careful to not get any water in it. Okay? I don't like to leave the plastic or dip it or put it in the water, especially because the grease floats on top and it just makes this a toxic bomb. You gotta be careful with it until it ends up in the dumpster. So I don't like putting it in the water. And you know, your guy outside is going to be winding up the all the tools, and inside you're making things look like you've never even been here. We are packing up, cleaning up. Now, if there's a good amount of water on the floor, and especially sometimes it's dirty water, I like to use a vacuum. A squeegee is an option if it's nice and easy. Squeegee's self-explanatory, but it's usually the first go-to for hood cleaners. I'm experienced. I like to clean up the debris as well. It just makes it look for an easier, more professional job. And watch, it's not that hard to set it up. I'm just gonna put my squeegee to the side here. It's got 1, 2, 3 pieces, people. How hard can it be? And boom. The wet dry vac is one of the best tools for a hood cleaner. It's just can become your best friend. So clean up and then mop out. So, fourth quarter, the second person, what's he supposed to do? He's got to get all this hose on these pretty little hose reels and get the equipment back in the truck. So I'm dealing with 2 hoses and they're kind of laying over each other. So I do a quick evaluation. I'm like, okay, this pink hose is definitely the easiest. So I'm gonna make sure it's kind of sitting on top of the pile, and I get my handy dandy rag out of my pocket and bring it over here. Always wiping, always wiping. It's good to keep these things clean. And then it's just all sitting there ready for me to twist it up. So here we go, wiping as I twist it up. And I clipped it. Okay, now this hose is pretty long. I like to have about 150, 120, 150 feet on my hose reel. So I'm gonna attach it to get it started. Now, one trick I like to do is if I've got a long hose and it's kind of piled up on me, I start at the end closest to the reel, and I kind of wipe and I kind of step and I kind of wipe and I kind of step and I kind of wipe and I kind of step, and I go all the way through the whole hose so that when I'm reeling it up, it's not caught under itself. And so this is the way to kind of do that. And you might have to do it in 2 phases. See how much dirt I'm getting off of the hose? But watch how easy this first half of the hose is to reel back up. I'm holding on to it while the right arm is the machine, the left hand is the helper. It's just all going on, other than that loud squeaky noise, which is only a problem for the very few. Oh, looky here, it's being so nice, it's all, uh-oh, I'm gonna have to make a small correction. It's caught under something. But we're almost done here. There we are. Both hoses are in nice and neat. You're in the fourth quarter. Things are really starting to look good. One of the things I've realized about putting up my tools is right now it's nice and light, but in the middle of the night it's dark. So if you put everything together just so, you don't have to wonder where anything is. You can just at a glance see, is it there, yes or no, because everything's got a real place that goes back in the same box the same way every time. So here's one of the cans. It came out of the kitchen. It's the one with the clips and the crates. The plastic, we're gonna go throw that in the dumpster. You know, you can get creative about how to keep these clean too. Put a shopping grocery bag over this to keep it nice and clean. I take my trash can dollies off, put those in the truck. I put it in the trick can with the vacuum. I'm on my driver's side of the van. I'm putting my nice, somewhat clean vacuum in. I don't even wind the cord. It's not that bad to do. I put my hose in. I like to keep my wand, though, in my clip bucket. You can't fit it in the trash can side. But what you can fit in is to take off this dolly, to put in the other dolly. And I like to put the vacuum on the passenger side and the other on the driver's side. But before I do that, this bad boy is so tightly packed in there. Let me go get my pump sprayer and chemical bucket and put it up first. All right, I'm gonna check my roof bag. Yeah, I've got my drill. Yeah, I've got my chains. I'm gonna throw my rope in there. And then I like to have 2 clips, so you know, I can clip that rope together. You know what I'll put a clip on the handle. And I'm gonna put it in here. My complete roof bag. My 5-gallon bucket of soap. 1 pump sprayer. Oh, take the pressure off. All right. If it accidentally the button gets pressed, it won't leak out everywhere. Remember, this stuff is bad for your skin. I put my wand up over this where I keep my towels. It's a nice cushiony, soft place for the pump sprayer handle that is fragile. Remember, take the pressure off. Nice. Okay. I'm gonna put the wand up here so it's nice and protected. Okay. On my driver's side, I'm putting in my vacuum with the dollies first. Scoot it across to the passenger side. And put in my other trash can. Got 2 more things. Oops, 3. But remember my plywood? It's got to come with me. And I don't know if you can see me over here, but I'm putting in my 4-foot step ladder. All right. Let's have a look. 4-foot step ladder, nice. And you know, ideally all our trucks are set up identical, so you could jump in any truck and they all be the same. I didn't talk about strapping the ladder on the top, but that's different with every truck, but of course it is necessary. Of course, I'm gonna take a 360-degree look around the restaurant and make sure that we didn't leave any signs of an ugly hood cleaning.